Howdy up, David Grigsby with Grigsby Consulting. Here's a quick video for you concerning our most recent infographic article that we've published. Basically, in 5 major bullet points, we'll cover what's in it for you. Of course, this video. An example of a simple observation of history by your fellow geek me concerning both Microsoft, Apple, and Microsoft. An ask from you of a survey, and the actual infographic. So why don't we start with the actual star of the show. We'll go with the infographic itself. Helps if you actually do in fact hit the click. And it's going to cover the journey that began this whole thing, which, again, if you think about it, it's simply, hey, what is Apple Keynote in the G Suite? And so ultimately the answer is quite simple. It's slides. But when I went out there and started researching it, and I looked at the common sources, Gartner, Forrester, BWG, Strategy, a number of different software publisher sites. The only thing I found was some good information on Wikipedia, but it didn't have a quick visual representation of what you're going to see down here below in a second. Great information, like I said, but in talking with Anna, we were like, so why is this so hard? So we put it together, and then we realized why it was so hard. Well, not really. It just leads to lots and lots of other questions. So you can ultimately end up like squirrel, and you're off into other things about compatibility and what's included and bundling and prices and all those things. So it goes without saying, all the logos, copyrights, trademarks belong to the respective companies of Microsoft, Google, and Apple, and we're absolutely thrilled that they have such amazing products out there and such amazing information. Of course, they don't generally put these kind of stack-ups of, a Surface OEM component against a Chromebook from Google, against a Mac product against Apple. They focus on their products as they should. So you'll see in the stack-up we go over drive technologies. So they each have their own version, and they are free at a certain level for both OneDrive and for Google Drive and iCloud, which is interesting because technically you can go out, create an iCloud account, and then use the Apple cloud-based products, and you don't even have to have a Mac. So if you do want to collaborate with other people on other platforms, it does in fact work. One of the things they don't tout necessarily or go out and sell, but it's a great advantage. Google, of course, starts with the freemium consumer model, and you know that as anything at gmail.com, and then moves into their business suites, which means it's going to use your domain name like Grigsby Consulting LLC.com. And this way you'll see it in the document is your domain name.tld. Of course, you can get the domain from Google, you can get it from GoDaddy, you can get it from any number of providers. Same as you can do for Microsoft. The OneDrive gets kind of interesting when you go into it. They each give you a certain amount of space for free, and you can actually focus on that as to which meets your needs. And so that's how easily and how quickly all of a sudden you end off on another journey. But the real question was, hey, if I'm using Keynote over here, it's slides inside of Google and it's PowerPoint inside of Microsoft. And as much as I'd love for this diagram to have existed, and if you happen to know one, please let me know. Because maintaining this and keeping this up to date is going to be a product on its own. And as you can see, there is a plethora of additional applications, either partial applications like Task, which doesn't have search in it yet, and you can't go to your own app called Task compared to like what you can with Contacts or can with the calendar, or of course Keep, or Forms, or Jamboard, or it's kind of the same deal you're going to find in Microsoft, or the same deal you're going to find over here. And they each have their own VPAs, so it's Hey Google, or it's Cortana, or it's Hey Siri. So I'm surprised I didn't trigger any of my devices around me. So, yay, I didn't say the right words. So, with that said, and I did mention, we've done some compatibility comparisons for customers for support costs. And again, our customers range from startups all the way through enterprises, whether they be bootstrapped or they're private equity funded or they're post IPO and in the marketplace. They're all interested in, hey, what does it take to actually support all these different tech stacks, let alone all these different platforms and operating systems and browser platforms that are out there. You've got Silk on the Amazon products, cancel. And then you've got Firefox, the original Mozilla. You've got Chrome from Google. You've got Chromium that's used inside of Edge and inside of Silk. You have good old Safari, which is a WebKit that's used also over in the iOS devices. And of course, Chromium's used inside the Android devices. And then, of course, you got Linux and you got Apple and you got Windows. So it does get really complex pretty quick. And then on top of that, people want to do things that say, okay, what's included in what price point, right? Google makes it pretty simple. Apple makes it really simple. It's all free. You got to buy their hardware, or know that you can go to the iCloud and create an account, and then you can use the actual browser version of the product. If you come to Google, you'll start off in the free, which is that at Gmail, and then you can move into the basic or the business or the enterprise. Notice there's no disadvantage between paying monthly or yearly. And of course, there's the EDU products that you may have experienced or are experienced at a college or university. Microsoft breaks it down into home, business, and enterprise. Of course, provides free trials. And if you do the free trial, you're going to end up over in the business premium product. And then when you downgrade based on your subscription, you'll find out what is or isn't in the bundle. If you have any questions along that line, please give us a call or talk to a Microsoft representative or partner. Same thing with Google questions or Apple questions. And one of the things yet to come is we're completing out the calculator so that you can figure out your costs. Because while your team members might be interested in online collaborative editing and they want to stay in a single stack and use a single product, it may not be a realistic thing that you can accomplish based on all the vendors that you work with. And you might be living across multiple stacks like Anna and I do at Grigsby Consulting based on what the vendor that we're working with uses or the client that we're working with uses. Fortunate that I have a Microsoft alumni subscription, and therefore I get a discount on things like stuff from the company store, including Office Premium products and Office products and LinkedIn. So one of the advantages having worked at Microsoft. So you can find out more information about all this at our site, which is where I came from, which is our blog site. And then, of course, you can go to our primary Grigsby Consulting site, or you can go off to publications and from our consulting site, and you can go to our davidwgrigsby.com, which is our authoring site for where our dev books and anything along those lines about how-tos are there. So we've now covered what's in it for you and the different components. We've covered the video. One of the things that I thought was very interesting is, if you think about it, the history of Microsoft was really around developer tools for computer manufacturers like Altair and IBM at the time. Apple started from a club of electronics enthusiasts to make a personal computer. And then Google started off, as an electronic card catalog. And when you think of that as a search engine and the algorithms behind that to index the internet, it's pretty obvious to see that actually Google was the first one actually born in the cloud, the interwebs, whatever you want to call it, and is actually, a first citizen in that actual space that's providing all these suites. So it's natural that their type of collaborative capabilities are all browser-based and all in the standard technology suites that we use under HTML, under CSS, under JavaScript, and with their cloud computing platform like Azure and AWS and others, you can actually see how that all fits together in a cloud-centric environment. Just depends on what you need and what you're after. So we would really appreciate you clicking on the link here to take the survey and provide us information. It'll take you someplace, like I said, between 8 to 20 minutes, depending on the speed in which you go through. We have a disclaimer here. And basically, if you provide your email, we'll share out the results on a monthly basis to you of what other people have had to say concerning the survey. So, if you have more information that you're interested in, you can contact us at our online article about the VCTs under the fact. And then, of course, you can come in and click on any one of these ways to connect with us to request a VCT, which is a virtual coffee or tea. Of course, they're gratis. And we can discuss any of the things that you're interested in around tech stacks, business, whether it's B2B or B2C, technology, or in general just to talk about what's going on with COVID-19 or any of the things that might be impacting your business. Thank you and have a great day. Hopefully this has been informative and in a simple manner keeps you from having to read about 600 words. Cheers. Have a great day.